So friends, gratitude isn't about waiting for our life to be perfect. It's seeing the beauty in the things that are already there. And the truth is that peace doesn't come from changing our circumstances. It comes from noticing what's good right now, right in front of you. Now, in today's video, we'll explore how nature and how our external and internal environments can become the greatest teachers of gratitude and calm. Even, if life feels messy and uncertain, and we will look at practices of how using gratitude and mindfulness can help us to find peace in our home and in the world. Now, here I am out on my deck. It's a kind of chilly day, so I might go inside for the rest of this video, but we are going to talk about nature and our home and the gratitude we can have for both of those. That sounds good to you? Stay tuned. Okay, friends, so I'm back inside. It's a little warmer in here, although we have been having some beautiful fall days here in Kansas. So today we're going to talk again about gratitude. And gratitude is really a mindful practice. And the reality is that practicing gratitude for nature, for our home, really starts with the pause. You know what I always say, always the pause. To pause and be mindful of what's around us. And it's just noticing those things that are there. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How can we be grateful by simply stopping and noticing what we have in our home and in our natural environment outside? So some of the things with nature that we can be grateful for. We're going to start first with nature. We can think about the rustling of the leaves. Fall is here, and when you stand outside and you hear the wind blow and those leaves just rustle, pause. Really listen to that and be grateful for that. Another thing is the warmth of the sunshine across your face and how good that feels. And you know what? It also gives you some vitamin D, and that is good for our health. And then we can listen to the gentle sound of rain on our roof. And I know I love that. I love to sit by the window when the rain is gently coming down. And then soon here in my neck of the woods, it's going to be snow. And that's also beautiful to watch. But again, just pausing and really seeing those things and being grateful for them. And these are gifts. These are grounding gifts that help us connect to the present moment. And that's what mindfulness is all about. And when we do this, when we pause and we really notice those things around us, this helps us to see that even though there may be a lot of crazy things going on in our life, there's a lot to be grateful for, and that life is truly generous. There's so much abundance in our life. And like I said earlier, our life can be really crazy. Life is hard, and there's a lot of challenging things going on, especially now. And so there are many things that we do not have control over. But there are some things that we do. And one of the things that we have control over is what we choose to focus on. And even though there may be a lot of craziness, we can pause and recognize those good things in our life. And you know what that does? That helps to balance out some of the craziness and the hecticness in the world. So I challenge you to do that in your day to day and the things that we're going to talk about in this video, to just pause and think about the good things that you do have in your life. Now, one of those things is nature. And as you saw in the intro to this video, I have a lot of nature around me. Okay, friends, so here I am in a different place, and this just talks about the craziness of my life, and that's okay. I can change, I can adjust, but we're going to get back to talking about gratitude. All right, so when I think of nature, and I look around at all of the beauty, I see this as a gift from God. Now, you may use other language for that, the universe, a higher power, the divine, whatever it is that you label as bigger than yourself. And that's really what nature is. It's something that's bigger than ourselves. But there's so much in nature. In a little bit, I'm going to talk about some of the lessons that we find in nature and how we can be so grateful for that. But when we think about, the delicateness of a flower, or, the sunset or the sunrise. I was just sitting out on my deck this morning and watching the sunrise, and that's such a beautiful start to the day. And I really see that as a sacred moment and as a gift from the divine. And when we pause and we are really grateful for nature, we can look at the lessons. So there are so many, but I'm just going to say a few here. So think about a spider web. Now, a spider web is both delicate and strong and beautiful, but it sustains the spider, it provides nourishment for the spider, and so it has a purpose, and it's a home for the spider. But the reality is, even though it is strong, it can be wiped away in an instant by a strong wind or by a human brushing it away. And what that teaches me is that life is fleeting. We need to hold on to things lightly and go more with the flow of life, of what happens. That there are very few things in life that are permanent, just like the spider's web. It's not a permanent thing, but it serves its purpose while it's there. It serves its purpose for the spider. Now, the trees, especially in autumn, are another powerful lesson, a powerful teacher. Their falling leaves remind us that life has natural cycles, that in nature there are natural cycles, but the lesson for us is that in our own life there are also natural cycles. And these changes are part of growth. So we think about the tree, it has these beautiful tiny little buds in the spring, and I love to watch them come out. And then the leaves flourish in the summer. And then in the fall, we see this just brilliant art in nature of the leaves, the colors in the leaves, and they're just so beautiful. And then the leaves fall off. And what's happening, another lesson from the tree. And so those cycles are cycles of nature, cycles of the tree, but also to recognize we have cycles in our own life, as I just said. Another important lesson from trees is that in the winter, when all of those leaves fall off, what the tree is actually doing is it's nourishing its roots. It's taking a break from the external beauty of the tree, and it's going inward to nourish itself. And that's exactly what we need to do, to value and to trust and to care for ourselves. And that's a lot of what I teach on this channel. And by the way, if I haven't said it, I'm Kathy Weens. I'm a trauma recovery and women's empowerment coach, and I am on a mission to help women, mostly women like me, over the age of 50 in the second half of life, to overcome past traumas and to live a life of purpose. Okay, so these are a few of the reasons that I am so grateful for nature. And I love being outside and really pausing and seeing those things, not taking those things for granted, but really seeing them. And I would encourage you to do that too. And also in the comments, if you could put in the comments, what do you see in nature? What do you love about nature? And what are you grateful for in the natural world? And now we're going to switch from the outside world to our inside world, to our homes. And what can we be grateful for in our homes? Well, whether you have a large or a small home, a humble or a grand home, all of these, again, are sacred spaces where our life unfolds. And we can see this again when we pause and we notice and we become mindful of the things in our home that we might be taking for granted. And too often, when we look around our house, we don't see those beautiful sacred things, but we just see the unfinished projects, the clutter, the things that need to be cleaned or need to be fixed, the repairs that need to be done. But when we see our home through the lens of gratitude, we can see our homes differently, and they become places of comfort, belonging, and safety. And gratitude helps us to remember that our home is not just a physical space, but it's also an emotional one. And so I would encourage you this week to pause and to notice the things in your home, the things that really bring you comfort and joy. Maybe it's that favorite chair that you like to sit in and drink your morning coffee. Or maybe it's the way the sun comes through the window, or the smell of your dinner cooking. So just pause and notice those things. Those are things that we can be grateful for and not take our home for granted. Now, the truth is, I have taken my home for granted for a long time, and so many things in our home that we do take for granted. So simply having a home is something that we need to be grateful for, because the reality is not everyone has a home. And so if you have a home, that is one thing to be grateful for. Now, if you go to the sink and you turn on the faucet and water comes out, that's another thing to be grateful for. And so I would challenge you, when you do that, or maybe if you take a shower or you're washing clothes, to just pause and be grateful for that water. Water is so life-giving and life-sustaining, but so often we just take it for granted. Now, some other things in our home that I bet we take for granted all the time are the appliances that we have. We have a stove to cook on. We have a refrigerator to keep our food cold. And we have a washing machine. Do we ever pause and think about, wow, I'm really fortunate to have these things and how much work they do for me? And so I would encourage you this week to just stop and think about those things that we, all of us, really take for granted, and to be thankful for them. And then other things, more emotional things that we can look around our home and be thankful for, are gifts that people have given us. So walk around your home and look at the things that are there. How many of those things are a gift that a friend gave you, and to be thankful for that person and for that gift, and the fact that they took the time to get that for you and to give it to you. So that's another way to be grateful for the things in our home. And also, if you're like me, I have many pictures of family in my home. And so looking at those pictures, being grateful for those people, but also that your home is a place to house those pictures. And so this can help balance, when we see all the repairs that need to be done, the clothes that need to be washed, the floors that need to be swept, whatever it is. When we pause and we are grateful for the things in our home, this can help reduce some of that stress from all the chaos that we may feel in our home too. And I have another video on my channel, and I'll link that in the description below, about, again, it just goes a little deeper into the things that we take for granted and how we can really pause and appreciate those things. So you might want to check that out. And so when we appreciate our environment, both inside and outside, we naturally begin to care for it better. And so gratitude, again, relieves some of that stress of all the craziness and the hecticness, but it can also transform some of those chores. So gratitude can help turn maintenance into mindfulness, pausing and being grateful for the things we have as we are fixing them, as we are cleaning them, or whatever it is we're doing. And then tidiness can become an act of love, because we recognize the value in our home. We are grateful for our home, and that makes us naturally just want to take care of it, to love it, to value it, to care for it. And when we slow down to appreciate the world around us, we realize that peace isn't something that we chase, but it's something that we notice. That's a powerful statement. You already have peace in your life, in the nature, in the outside world, and in your inside world, in your home. But the thing is, we have to notice it. That's how we find the peace. It's already there. So this week, may you open your eyes to the quiet beauty that is already present in your world. All right, thanks so much for being here today. If this video was helpful, please share it with someone else. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and like. Just helps the stuff get out to more people. All right, thanks for being here. Bye-bye.